So 2.1, it's called algebraic domains of functions. Algebraic domain of what? Functions. Right. Now, you can't even say the word functions without saying the word functions. Fun, right? Fun. Good. Try it. Try saying functions without saying the word fun. Try it. Functions. Okay, yeah, you can almost do it. So fun is built right into the program. You see that? It's built right into the program. You've been studying functions for how long? Forever, right? Do you know why? Because they're important. Very good. Why are they important? I don't know. That's always the thing. I don't know. My teacher said they're important, and they're an adult, and I was taught to respect what they had to say automatically without earning it. So, yeah. It's how we make sense of the world. Excellent. If you don't know the answer to a question, you have to be smart enough to know where to go to get the answer, right? Yeah. And you can learn a lot by reading. Okay, so a function is important, and that's why you've been studying them, because it is kind of how we make sense of the world. So what is a function exactly? And look at that word. Isn't that a fun word? Whereby each independent variable in the domain maps to no more than one dependent variable in the range. Yeah. Excellent. Any questions? All right, quiz tomorrow. Y'all ready? Over functions? No. It is a relation. So a relation is just a rule that relates two variables. But a function is a special relation, not relationship, but a special relation that relates two variables together in a very unique way. And that unique way is that every input maps to no more than what output. Now, the no more than is very important, because that means it doesn't have to have an output, but if it does, it's unique. There's only one. And that is, believe it or not, how we make sense of the world. The most recognizable explanation of a function, which you've probably seen in all kinds of books, is what I like to call the wood chipper machine. Let's draw it. This never gets old to me, ever. We use function notation like that, f of x. So that is the machine itself. It's a rule that changes something. So the top, that's what you're going to drop in there. That's going to be your inputs. And then the f of x changes it and spits out an output right there. Okay? Spits out an output. Now, what are you allowed to put into your machine? Let's call it a wood chipper. What are you allowed to put into a wood chipper? Wood. You could certainly put wood into a wood chipper. That makes sense, right? What type of wood? Any type of wood, right? Would you say that then it is your independent choice as to what type of wood you would put in there? You could choose on your own, independently of anybody else. No one's going to coerce you. So your set of inputs, or your input itself, is what we call the independent variable. It is your choice. Do you even have to put wood into a wood chipper? No. Nah. You can get crazy and put what in there? Cheese. Oh, yeah. You're going to make some big old nachos, and the cheese grater just won't do. So you put the cheese in the wood chipper, and you have the nachos on the outfeed, right? Oh, man. Golly. That's a great idea. You can put cheese into a wood chipper. Now, here's the deal. When you get an output, your output totally depends upon what you put in, yes? You put in logs or wood, you get out what? Wood chips. Every time, right? And if you put in cheese, you get out cheese chips or grated cheese every time. So your outputs depend upon what you put in. So we call that the dependent variable. The dependent variable. Now here's what makes it a function. Do you think you're ever going to put in a wood and get out wood chips, and then the next piece of wood you put in, you get out cheese grates, grated cheese? No, it's very predictable. You know what you're going to get out based upon what you're going to put in. That's what makes a function a function. For every input, there is no more than one predictable output. You're not going to put in cheese one time and get out like wood chips one time, cheese the next, candy the next, whatever. There's one predictable output. Now, of course, you are allowed to put anything into the machine. That is, anything that is within your grasp, right? Anything that is tangibly in front of you. Would you say then that it's going to be anything within your what? Anything within your, if you do it like this majestically, anything within your domain, right? So the set of all inputs is called the domain. Anything that's within your grasp is within the domain. And the set of all outputs, well, let's see. You get a whole blank of outputs depending on what you put in. Range. So it all kind of makes sense. It all kind of makes sense. Now, does every input have an output? If you put anything into a wood chipper, if it goes through, you're going to get a very predictable single output. But does everything come out of the wood chipper? Are there certain things you can't put into the wood chipper? You know there is, right? Because when you get a new wood chipper, there's a operator's manual that's about 3 inches thick. And the first thing you do is you wet your fingers and you start going through there page by page and reading all the safety warnings, right? You read that whole thing so you know how to operate the wood chipper. And somewhere in there it says, don't put these things into a wood chipper. And what might be on that list? Metal. No, let's talk about people. Sicko. Have you seen Fargo? You can put people into a wood chipper. You can. But you only get out one out. You don't get grated cheese, do you? You get out, yeah, okay. All right, but it's predictable. So you can put people in there, but metal. If you put like a metal rod into a wood chipper, are you going to get metal rod chips out? You're going to get a broken wood chipper. Very good. If you put a big old pile of rocks into a wood chipper, you're probably not going to get out little rocks. It's going to probably break the wood chipper. So would you say then that metal rods and big old piles of rocks are in the domain of the wood chipper? You can still choose them independently, but do they give you an output? No. Okay? So not everything is going to give you an output, but if it does give you an output, it's only one predictable. That's what makes a function a function. Okay? Very, very important. And that's how we make sense of the world. Let me give you another example. You go into the H-E-B, right? You got a hankering for pomegranates. Who don't like pomegranates? Don't raise your hand, because everyone loves pomegranates. You carefully select 2 pomegranates, right? Why 2? Because you can't eat just one, like Doritos, okay? You go up there, and there's a price. There's a price for the pomegranates. You're like, okay, all right. I think I got that much. Yeah, okay. I got that much money. And you go up there, and you put them down, and the person at the H-E-B, maybe it's you, rings it up, weigh the produce, and you're like, that'll be $2 or $99.99. And I, the consumer, are going to be like, what? Say what? What was that? $2 or $99.99? Well, these are excellent pomegranates, and I think they are totally worth $99.99. And getting them for under $100, that's a deal. Okay, I'll pay the $99.99. Does that make sense? Does that scenario make sense? Has it ever happened? No. Why does that not make sense? I independently chose pomegranates. Then I independently chose 2 pomegranates. They have a unit price. If I go up there, what should I expect to happen? One price. Just one price. And it should be a predictable price. So if there's 2 outputs, 2 prices, that doesn't make sense. And why would you pay the higher price if you were quoted to? That's just loony, right? And you're eating pomegranates, by the way. Who does like pomegranates? Yeah, have you? Yeah, it's good. I've had the pomegranate juice. I've never actually gotten into a pomegranate. Kind of seedy, right? Kind of seedy. You eat the seeds? You do eat the seeds? They're edible? Do you plant the seeds? You have pomegranate trees? Bushes? They grow in the ground? Trees. Okay. I don't know. Are they like potatoes? Are they roots? I don't know. I'm a math teacher, not a vegetable farmer. Are they vegetables? They're fruit. Good. So tomatoes then. Hey! That's how we make sense of the world. We'll see you tomorrow. Be ready for a quiz on wood chippers. You'll be disappointed if we don't have one.